Why do you feel like you don't deserve good things? I guess I feel it shouldn't
Days
belong to
of
me.
my
Why?
youth
Because I've attached
wasted
my self-worth to my
on
shortcomings.
accomplish things and never feel happy about what you've accomplished. I used to be in therapy about this, and it's just like I get mad at myself for not being happy. No one really talks about how hard it is to suffer from imposter syndrome and basically never feel happy about any of your accomplishments in life. And being such like an overachiever and a hard worker, this is something that I've struggled with for a while, and it gets so draining and tiring to accomplish things and never feel happy about what you've accomplished. I used to be in therapy about this, and it's just like I get mad at myself for not being happy when I accomplish certain things. It's like I worked so hard to get where I am in life, and anytime I reach new heights, I'm just always asking myself, what's the new thing? What's something else I can accomplish? And I just never truly feel at peace when I get to where I want to be. Like, for example, I graduated college with my health science degree, and I'm a first child, so I really had nobody to really look up to when I did that. And I got into nursing school, which was so hard for me because I kept being denied and getting denied from nursing programs, right? But I was able to finish nursing school, finish with a 3.8 GPA, and become a registered nurse. But even with that, I just didn't feel like I did enough. Like, I didn't feel like I deserved it. I didn't feel happy about it. And then I set all these goals for myself. I worked so hard at them. And then when I finish them, I just never give myself the opportunity to congratulate myself. And it feels so weird. And I hate to cry about this, but I just want it to be real because I feel like other people also probably struggle with this, where like you work so hard at something, and when you get there, you feel like, oh, you don't really deserve it, or other people have done it before, so it's not that big of a deal. But I just wish I can like slow down and be happy when I accomplish everything in my life. Like, I'm trying to work on slowing down and giving myself props for certain things. Like, people always call me out and say, oh my gosh, Edna, like you did this, you have this thing, like you worked so hard at this. And I kind of just awkwardly smile because it's like, I don't know what to say back, like instead of thank you, because I don't feel like I really did enough, you know? And I promise I'm not having a mental breakdown. I just took off my lashes because I want to do a new set. But if y'all have tips on like how to stop suffering from imposter syndrome or just be happy about like your accomplishments in life, like literally comment it below. Cause I need to like work on myself, and I feel like I'm only 23. And if I don't start being happy about the things I've accomplished from now, I'm gonna get burnt out. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Bye, babes.
And I could relate on so many levels with that. But I think I have an understanding on why I'm like that though. Like, I've experienced that in so many places in my life. Like, people would be proud of something that I do. And to me, I don't really congratulate myself. There's a part of me that's like, man, it's because the work is not done. But I don't really get excited for myself a lot. That is something that I definitely experience a lot. But what I've realized is the reason why is because I've had very important things happen, accomplishments that I've achieved, and I wanted others to be happy for me. But there were times where nobody showed up, or I had to go through this accomplishment and celebrate myself. Now, I mean, so it got to the point where it's my accomplishments really ain't no big deal. Just keep going, just keep growing until, until the wheels fall off. And honestly, I've learned that it has taken away from my peace in the accomplishment that I just conquered. And that's why in my last video, I kind of mentioned to y'all, I just enjoy the work. I don't even focus so much on getting the thing, because once I get the thing, I'm going to create some more work for myself so I could go get something else. Is this a good thing? It is for me. I just enjoy the process. So when the finished result is finally here, yeah, I'm happy, but it's hard to really be happy. Like, I'll give y'all an example of a big accomplishment to most people that I was never really celebrated for. In return, it was never really a big deal for me either. I was 24 years old when I bought my first house, right? Probably the youngest to do it in my family. Although this is a huge accomplishment, and I still, till this day, I hear people say, one of my biggest goals in life is to buy a house. And when people say that, I think about myself. I'm like, damn, why wasn't I super excited when I bought my house? And it's probably because nobody else cared. Not in the sense of nobody cared to the point where they wasn't congratulating me, but I didn't have a visitor to my house, wanted to actually visit me for about 2 years after owning my house. Like, it was a lot of time from the time I moved in and bought my house to somebody even visiting me, let alone celebrating me. So I've gotten to the point where it's like, man, these accomplishments, they ain't nothing. Just keep doing stuff. So I've done a lot of great things in my life, but I could truly say I've never really celebrated it. Like I said, on one hand, you can say, well, it's because the sky is the limit for me. I'm not really impressed by these things. But I think at the root cause is because nobody showed up when I wanted somebody to show up for me. Nobody showed up in those times where I thought I would be celebrated. But it's completely cool. I'm not complaining at all, but I just know why I experienced what she's talking about.
I have imposter syndrome, which is whenever life is good, I'm anxious. Why? I guess I feel undeserving of it. Well, how do you see yourself? That's an uncomfortable question. I know. I don't know how to answer that. Do you know why self-portraits are so appealing? No, because a self-portrait shows us how the artist sees themselves, which is valuable because how you see yourself can change how you see the world. Like Picasso's Blue Period. Exactly. In his depression, he saw himself as the victim of a cruel world. So that became the world he depicted. That was the world he belonged to. Into the Rose Period. If success creates discomfort for you, it's because it doesn't align with the way you see yourself. Why do you feel like you don't deserve good things? I guess I feel it shouldn't belong to me. Why? Because I've attached my self-worth to my shortcomings. And so because you can't see everyone else's around you, I feel inferior. So you paint a world where your insecurity takes focus, where I don't feel comfortable in the environment. And that dissonance leads to self-sabotage. And I become the subject of my own painting. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't feel like you deserve good things, I'll subconsciously make sure I never get it. And you can choose what to paint. I'm trying, but...
That was such a dope conversation. I know it's a skit and he's having a conversation with himself, but that is so real. Like, so many of us are used to being just a mess up. You know, I'm trying not to curse, but so many of us were used to being a mess up. So when we finally are faced with an opportunity, it's like we automatically find a way that it will go wrong. And the way we're judging how this situation would play out is from all of our mess ups in the past, rather than thinking how we even got to this moment. You know, rather than thinking like, no, maybe I do deserve this position because I've worked hard enough to get here. See, and this is why negative self-talk is so dangerous. We repeat so many of our mistakes to ourselves or our worries to ourselves rather than our accomplishments, like I was just speaking on, rather than the things that we have done good so we can see ourselves as we deserve to be here. I have a family member right now that every single time we get on the phone, they have a problem. They are going through something catastrophic, and you can fix that problem that that person is going through. You can help them go through that problem. They can fix the problem that they're going through. And the next time we talk, they be done found another issue. And you start to realize that this is actually you self-sabotaging because your body and your mind is very uncomfortable with the thought of success, truly. So subconsciously, you're finding a way to be comfortable, which is tricking you out of the actual blessing that is yours, but you don't feel like you deserve it. Now, these aren't things that we're saying on the forefront. You're not saying these things out loud. No, you say you want it. You say, oh, I want to live like this. Or you say, I want to improve this. You say these things. But subconsciously, which is actually what runs us, is really where we make our decisions. You are sabotaging the situations that you're saying that you want. And it usually comes in a form of an excuse or a reason. But before we get into that, I found a way that y'all can make some side hustle money on your phones. But the only thing is that you have to play games on your phones. And I know that a lot of people do not like playing games on their phone and stuff like that. But this is an easy way to make some bread. Even if you can only make an extra $100 or $200 a month, that could pay a couple bills just by playing games on your phone. And if you click my link in the description below or in the comments below, you could start out with a free $5. These companies are literally paying people just for y'all to play games on your phone. That is crazy. But just try it out. Go peep the games that they have. If you don't like it, hey, it is what it is. But I say it's worth a try.
Come back to things that creative people don't talk about. Let's talk about self-sabotage. It's something I deal with way too often. It's something that I'm actively trying to work against. I'm going to give you an example of what my self-sabotage looks like. I will have a very exciting opportunity ahead of me, and I would make excuses on why I'm not a good fit for that opportunity. And then I end up waiting a day or two until I reply, and then they already found somebody else. I had one specific one I think about is this fashion director from Paris was like, I'm gonna be in Miami in about a month and I want you to direct a music video with XYZ models. And they're like high profile models. He does a lot of Yeah, high profile things. And I was like, whoa, I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm not qualified for that. I don't even know what he wanted yet. And I already putting myself out of the picture. Gave him my number because he said, I'll call you. But I took a day to respond, and he never called me. And then later I figured out that he found somebody else. It's something that we really all struggle with. And something I'm actively doing in order to reverse those effects is when an opportunity comes, I challenge myself to respond within the first 15 minutes, 30 minutes. When I initially see it, I try to respond within 30 minutes.
Like that.
And that's honestly harder to do when you're someone like me who likes to wait and think about it too much. It comes down to overthinking, overanalyzing, and then you get into analysis paralysis where you can't make a decision at all. You can't really do anything.
So you jump back to comfort.
All you can do is think about how unqualified you are for a certain thing. And it's probably not even true. You don't even know what the person wants, and you're already saying you can't do it. That is so toxic to your mind. But yeah, I don't think enough people talk about that. I wish I had tips for you. But it's just something I wanted to bring to the light because I know a lot of people feel this. I know they do. I never heard anybody talk about it, but I know other people go through it.
I remember when I was mobilizing while I was going to Iraq, and they told me that the supply sergeant, the guy that was over all the supply, the guy that's been in the military for 15 years, at the time I was only in for maybe 3 years at the time. I knew nothing about my job, literally nothing. I was just deploying because they said I had to deploy. But this is the first time I was really going to get my hands dirty with my job. And the guy that was there for 15 years was going to be the one to train me. They wound up telling me that that guy got sick and that I'm going to have to play his role. And I was like, what exactly is his role? I was basically over all of the equipment over the base that was in Al-Assad in Iraq. So at the time, I think I was like 22 going on 23, something like that. And all I knew is there's no way they're putting me in this position. I do not know how to do this job. Why are they putting me in this position? I wound up flourishing in the position. I wound up doing really good. But anytime I would sit in a meeting, my voice would shake. Granted, I'm young at the time, but what I realized is that I never really felt like I belonged in that position. Even though I was doing good, even though I got a whole bunch of awards, I still never felt like I'm supposed to be in this position. I know I'm getting the job done and I'm really good at what I'm doing, but I still see myself as me. Even till this day, they see the accomplishments that I've accomplished in life, and they say things like, man, you are so humble. It's because I don't really see myself any different.
There's a part of me that always feels like I'm manipulating somebody. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's not a feeling.
So what is it? It's a thought?
It's a belief.
It's a belief.
Yeah. No. And there's a reason why you have it.
Like even if I'm just doing something nice, there's a part of me that's like, oh, you're...
Yeah, you think you're fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Imposter Syndrome.
Okay.
And it has to do with the fact that you couldn't be real as a kid. In some ways, you had to pretend. And it's really hard to let go of that sense that I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
It's what you grew up with. So you could be kind to that part of yourself.
Okay.
The part that you could actually, because it's not a feeling, Theo, it's a belief. And the beliefs can be, you don't argue with feelings, but beliefs you can challenge.
Somebody has imposter syndrome, it usually means that their competence is higher than their confidence. When you look at people who have imposter syndrome, they tend to do a better job with things. Because they doubt themselves so much, they double check things. They put more effort into things. They take things a lot more seriously. You're looking at having nerves and imposter syndrome in your job as something that is bad. But it might be the reason that you're so good at your job.
Like even with YouTube, sometimes when I make these videos, I'm like, man, people really show love to my content. And all I'm doing is just telling the truth on how I see it. Posting videos that I'm interested in talking about. Sometimes my topics are so random, then I go on somebody else's page, I'm like, dang, they have a niche. They kind of niche down. So I kind of have this moment of self-sabotage, overthinking it, like, am I going to be able to sustain this? And I'm just like, man, just stay true to you. But that right there, why are we so quick to tell ourselves something negative when we're actually good at it? Like, why is our minds trying to default us into something negative? a negative outlook of ourselves. We're always trying to course correct our lives. Don't get me wrong, correcting yourself is right. It has to be a balance where we're congratulating ourselves because of our progression as well. Or our mind will always default, self-sabotage us away from the thing that we want.
Do not let people think you do not belong. Once you sit at these tables, at these fancy places with folks with fancy titles, and they got a big bank account, and you talk to them, and you go, oh, they ain't all that. This idea that somehow they are so special, they're so smart, they're so sophisticated. Not really. They've been exposed. They've been given the confidence of feeling like they belong. And the benefit for Michelle and me, because we came up, and at each stage, you go to Harvard, and wow, it's Harvard. And then you find out, oh, Harvard's full of some fools and people that you would not put in charge of anything, but they're there. And there's some really amazing, brilliant people too. And then you go to, the U.S. Senate, and you look around, and everybody's represented: smart people and dumb people, good people and bad people. Wow. Now suddenly you're meeting at the group of 7 world leaders are all in a room, or the United Nations, and same thing. It turns out that there's some really smart, amazing world leaders, and there's some fools.
So in this video, I wanted to give y'all a lot of my story and my experience with imposter syndrome, hoping that, you guys could resonate or possibly learn something from it. One of the things that I realized, the more I moved up in the ranks in the military, the more my job, got very important. One of the things that I realized is that when the meeting is over, we are all very much alike. When we all take our jackets off and we go shoot the breeze for some drinks, or we just chopping it up in the office, we are all very much alike. We all say the goofiest man jokes. People have different life dramas that they have going on. Everybody is just playing the part very well. It's just that the way that I see it is, you guys have it figured out way more than I do. You guys are dang near perfect in my eyes because I know no flaws to you, but I know my flaws. I know I have problems. So now I got to sit here and act like I'm on the same level as you guys, even though I know I got problems, when realistically, everybody has problems. Everybody has something going on. Everybody's just playing a part. So there is no room that I don't belong. I've had to learn to accept those things that I've accomplished. And any room that I wind up in, me being in this place in this moment is all in effect from a collective decisions that I made. So I deserve to be right here.
Something that's not talked about enough when you give your life to God is how you almost feel as if you have imposter syndrome. Like you're still in a battle between who you were and who you are becoming. And who you are becoming is not as if you are holier than thou and that you are better than everybody else, but you're simply trying to be better while also battling who you were in a past season of your life, when you know that there are times where you have literally affected others in a way, or they have a view of you that may not be the same in comparison to how you view yourself now to know where you're going. And even sometimes that person or those people or those events that you used to be around can bring out old ways and old habits. Yeah. So sometimes you just simply trying to avoid them so that you can continue to be better. But it's like, who am I now? And you know who you are. But you like, dang, like I'm just different. Like I'm not the same. I'm not.
Man, imposter syndrome, like amongst friendships, is so real. When you have outgrown people and then you go around those people because, maybe they're your friends and you want to, still maintain friendships. You don't want to feel like, you switched up or anything, but you find yourself having to talk about things or do things that you're completely not interested in anymore. That is a real thing. And I'm going to just tell y'all right now, I've experienced that so much in my life. And I remember early on when I first started experiencing this separation between me and my friends, I've learned to accept it and understand that if this is a real friendship, this friendship will circle back around. But I should not have to be an old version of myself to maintain friendship with you. That means that you're really friends with the old me, and I'm not that person anymore. You're friends with the college version of me. We were friends because we were able to go to parties. We were friends because we was able to go out and go talk to girls. I'm a married man now. If I can't sit here and watch the game with you, if I can't sit here and be like, yo, let's go work out, yo, let's go play golf, yo, let's go play basketball, yo, let's have a conversation about our mental health, yo, let's talk about God. If I can't do these things with you because this is the new season of life that I'm in, then we most likely aren't real friends. We are friends to the circumstance. So I've learned to just be okay with growing out of friendships. Do not feel like you have to conform to what your day ones are doing because they're still doing what y'all was doing in day one. Allow God to put you in this new season. I think one of the most dangerous things that us as like friends do from a young age is we say, I'm gonna have my house, you gonna have your house, you gonna have your family, I'm gonna have my family, we all gonna be in the same neighborhood. The reason why I think that's so divisive is because that's not how things usually go. A lot of people are following the decisions of their friends because they want to go to the same place, where most of the time, especially my people that's 30 and up, you realize that you're going to lose a lot of friends along the way. I'm talking about those people that you said, oh my God, I'll take a bullet for you. And honestly, letting go of certain relationships that have not grown is one of the best things you can do for yourself. I'm going to say this part one more time. Do not get stuck in the college version of yourself because you and your college friend want to maintain a friendship.
Who needs to hear this, but if you're the type of person that feels like you don't ever quite belong in a room, quote unquote, and I say quote unquote because you absolutely do belong in that room, but if you're the type of person like myself who sometimes has a hard time fitting in social situations, just know that God is preparing you. He is preparing you for so many incredible things that you cannot even imagine. You know in the song Yeba's Heartbreak when she goes, "And all the times you weren't chosen, I'll make it up to you." Think of that as God confirming that He is putting you in those uncomfortable situations to grow you, to make you stronger. You may be dealing with a lot of insecurity. You may be dealing with a lot of self-doubt. Being placed in situations like that is going to make you so much stronger and confident within yourself to where you no longer seek the validation of those around you. God is saying to you, I have so many blessings with your name on it, but I need you to be confident before I'm able to give those things to you. God is saying to you, I don't need you worrying about anybody's validation in this room. The only acceptance that you need is mine. I've really been praying on that lately because honestly, I've dealt with a lot of imposter syndrome, especially lately with content creation and influencing. And God spoke that to me the other day, and it was just too good not to share.
Y'all know it's Sunday. Some people is not going to watch a sermon. So to all my Christians out there, I want to give you 2 Bible scriptures if you struggle with imposter syndrome. And this is for me too. Corinthians chapter 3, verse 5. Not that we are competent in ourselves to claim anything for ourselves, but our competence comes from God. So it's higher than you. Where you are is where He wanted you to be. So you didn't get there by accident. God put you here. You know what I mean? So don't tell God He made a mistake by you walking in those shoes now. Don't tell God He's making a mistake when He opens that door for you. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Walk through that door that He opened for you and wear your godly clothing because your competence comes from Him. So you may not know the how. You may not know the why. But the Bible also says don't lean on your understanding. Lean on His understanding. So in other words, just because you don't understand why or how or why you, that doesn't mean that you're not in the right place. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You deserve exactly what you just got. That family that you want, that love that you want, you deserve all of that. So when you finally have it, don't trick yourself out of it. That position that you want, you work hard enough, you can get it. Be self-aware when you are tricking yourself out of your blessing. Because we all have excuses. We all fart sometimes. All of our breath stink before we brush our teeth. So nobody in this earth is perfect. So stop expecting perfection out of yourself. Receive the blessings that God is blessing you with. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So the way I interpret that is we were already crafted for a purpose. So we are not in the wrong place. We are exactly where God wants us to be. Again, you may not understand why. Don't lean on your understanding. Lean on His and flow with the punches. And the very last thing I want to say before I end this video out is that, and I'm going to do a whole video about self-sabotage, but that part of this video was very important to me. Self-sabotage is so sneaky. It is so sneaky. But it all ties into this imposter syndrome that we're speaking on. It is so sneaky when it gives us a reason why we can't. It is so sneaky when it whispers to us, yeah, you want to do it, but what about this? But you got to drive all the way over there. Yeah, but do you really have the money to do this? It is so sneaky in whispering in our ear, saying, yeah, but what if you get nervous and your voice shakes? Yeah, but what if you get exposed for not being that good? It's so sneaky in telling us these things to the point where we will self-sabotage and run away from the possibility of it ever being good because we are in front of it, because we are actually capable. That is the devil talking to you. God does not give us worries. So I don't remember who I heard this from, but it stuck with me. When you hear those worries and you're trying to make a decision whether you're going to follow your worries or are you going to follow the possibility of something great, the opportunity. It's a decision between, am I going to follow God and trust in God, or am I going to follow the devil and follow my worries? So I'm going to leave y'all right there. Happy Sunday, everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, turn on my post notifications and all that good stuff. And make sure you tune in for my episode tomorrow afternoon. For my people that's going to be at lunch, it's usually around like 12 to like 2 o'clock that I post the videos during the week. So make sure you tap into that video too. But until next time, y'all, it's been your boy, Top Boogie. The very last thing I'm going to say is if you want to make some money playing games on your phone, all you got to do is click the link in the description below or the link in the comments below. All right, these companies are literally paying people just to play games on your phone. That is actually crazy to me. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But I just say try it out, because if you catch yourself making money, make your money. Until next time, y'all, it's been your boy, Top Boogie. I'm out of here, man. Peace.